Commerce Server 2007 comes with a staging service. The staging service can stage files as well as the catalog or Commerce Server data. One of the Commerce Server resources that can be staged is catalogs. The reason you would stage catalogs from one environment to another is if an enterprise have a production environment and a staging environment. Normally, a staging environment would be used to store data and for business users to see how the products would look on the site before releasing it to production. Then the staging services would use catalogs to be staged. The Commerce Server staging for catalogs uses import-export, and it does not use, as mentioned earlier, the catalog web service. Therefore, the catalog staging service needs to have access to the databases in order to import and export the data. So let's go ahead and see a demo of staging catalogs from one Commerce Server site to another. So let's go ahead and create a project to stage catalogs from one environment to another. First, let's take a look at our Commerce Server Manager and our sites to be selected for staging. So we're going to choose the C# site, and then for the C# site is going to be the staging environment, and the C# site production is going to be our production environment. So let's go ahead and take a look at this in Catalog Manager. Okay, so you can look at the site name being C# site production, and if you go to connections and notice that we are connected to our web service for the C# site production, and notice that we have no catalogs. Now in our previous examples we created two catalogs, a service catalog and books catalog. So let's go ahead and import that from our C# site. Need to open the Commerce Server Staging MMC, navigate to Projects. You can create two types of projects, either through a wizard or create a blank project. We're going to go ahead and create a blank project. Next, you want to choose the deploying business data. In here, we want to choose the project role. If you were choosing to deploy from one server to another, the first server will become the source, and then the other server will become the destination. So there will be two projects, both name exactly the same thing. The only difference would be is that one would be a role and one would be a destination. Since in my test I'm deploying for both the C# site and C# production, and they both reside on the same server, I'm going to choose both of them for testing purposes, because my project where I'm going to take the catalog data is going to be on my local machine as well as the destination. Next, I need to give the source site. So the source site is our C# site, and we need to give it project local directory. I'm going to choose my temp directory. This is where the import-export will happen, both on the source and destination. And then we need to add a destination. Here I'm going to choose local server, and then I'm going to choose the C# site production. Next, I need to go to the Catalog tab and select both the book and the service catalog. Yes, we want to create generate full text, and then if we go to our catalog options, we want to make sure that this is full as well as stage the schema. And the reason we're doing this is that since this is the first time we're going to stage data, we need to take our schema information as well as all of the catalogs and categories in there. You could probably also choose refresh cache. when an import happens, you want to refresh the cache so that the site can see the changes for the new as the import-export happens and the new changes are brought over from the staging environment. The refresh cache will reset the cache so that the new products that were imported from the last time will be displayable on the site. Select OK. So our project is created. Let's go ahead and execute this. So our application is started. The staging environment will pull every so often and will update our status. So now it's running. So now the project completed successfully. And if we go to our catalog manager, we should see our two catalogs. Our books catalog with all the categories, as well as our service catalog. Now, one thing to note here, remember that I said that when the Commerce Server staging environment executes the import-export, it does not use the catalog web services. Therefore, the authorization manager is not updated. So, I had to disable the authorization manager and my web services to be able to display my catalogs. Otherwise, I would run into an error because the scopes were not created for my books catalog as well as my service catalog. So now let's show you how you can stage data the second time. So we'll go ahead and create another project. So we're going to do the same thing. Choose temp directory, add a destination. We'll go to our catalog tab. Here we're going to choose books as well as the service catalog. Yes, we want to do full text indexes. Stage our options. Here we're going to choose incremental. When you choose incremental, the import-export happens based on a timestamp. So it will export the data and remember a timestamp of when it exported the last project. And then when the next incremental happens, it will do it based on the last date timestamp. So in your catalog manager, when you do updates to the product, if I was connected to my C# site, any edits that I do in my categories as well as my products, there is a timestamp in my categories as well as the products that are recorded. So this last date, so the last date timestamp for edit would be marked in the product. When the export happens, it will say choose everything greater than this timestamp since the last time I did the export. So if I modify this product, it will be selected and staged for that. So let's click OK. We do not want to take schema because we haven't done any schema changes. Click OK. Click OK. So if I was to execute this, it would only move changes from the staging, which is my C# site, to my production site. So how do you stage based on expressions? Because the date timestamp may not be what you want. Sometimes you want to do multiple edits to your product, and then when you're ready to make the staging happen, you want to have the business user the capabilities to stage it on demand when they're ready for this. So to do this, you need to go to the catalog and inventory schema manager and create a new property, and this property will be a Boolean value, and we'll call it stage. So we go to the property definition, create a new property, and this will be a Boolean. So continue. Call this stage. Display on site no is required. You probably want to have this required. We'll change this so that it'll be a stage. Display as base property. Let's go ahead and do that, and then save and close. So next we need to go to the category definitions, and we want to open our dynamic category, and we want to have our stage field added, and we want to do the same thing for the static category. So in our product definition, we want to say the same thing for books. As well as our service products. Okay. So now that that's done, you can go into your project, do a full catalog staging. It will take that schema changes with us, and then if we do another project, stage catalogs. Let's choose business data. Source and destination. We'll choose C# site. Choose temp directory. Select add local server, and then for catalogs, we'll choose books as well as service catalogs. Generate full text indexes, yes. So now in catalog staging options, we want to choose expression, and we do not want schema changes. So here we want, so there's a bunch of options. For products and category clauses, we want to have stage equals to so basically you're saying the column equals to true, and then if you want to continue filtering, you can do that based on the results appearing here. So this is how you can select expressional based exports to allow your business users to do on-demand staging. So if we go back to our catalog manager, we should see our stage field. Navigate to books, roots, graphic novels. We'll go to our halo. And we have a stage field. So the business user, your business users would do edits into the fields here, and when they were done, they would select stage, and the product would be staged. What about variants? Variants would be staged because the base product has the stage value to true. When you have this in here, it will automatically set the variance to true as well. So if I save and close this and then run the project, this product would be staged when I ran my C# site stage catalog project. So this concludes our demo.